Hi everyone, welcome back.
And welcome to another episode where we talk about business tools, workforce management, and the systems companies actually use in real operations.
I'm Shai.
And I'm Marga.
And today we're diving into one thing construction companies cannot afford to lose track of. It's workforce time.
Which honestly sounds simple at first until you actually see how construction operations work.
Because construction teams aren't sitting in offices all day. They're out on job sites, moving between projects, switching tasks, handling changing schedules.
And managers somehow need to keep track of all of it accurately.
Clock-ins, job transfers, crew roll calls, overtime, attendance, and making sure payroll still matches what actually happened in the field.
Which is why construction companies usually need more than just basic time tracking app. They need worker verification,
GPS tracking,
job costing,
crew visibility, and systems that can actually survive real construction environments.
So today, we're going through 5 time tracking apps used in construction, beginning with simpler systems and moving towards more complete workforce solutions.
Now, before we jump into the apps, let's talk about what construction companies actually need.
Because this industry is very different from office-based teams.
We're talking about on-site clock-ins, crew verification, GPS tracking, job switching, real-time updates, and systems that still work even with weak internet. Because if an app slows down the field workflow, it usually doesn't get used properly.
We'll start with Toggl Track. Toggl Track is probably the simplest platform on this list. It is a flexible time tracking tool designed for tracking hours across projects and tasks, focusing on ease of use and quick logging.
I agree. It really focuses heavily on ease of use. Workers can quickly log hours, assign projects, add tags, and track billable time. It also includes offline time tracking with automatic synchronization. So, entries are saved even without the internet and updated later once you're back online.
Correct. The mobile app is clean too, with live timers, calendar view, and real-time editing. It also supports Pomodoro timers and time tracking goals for teams that want structured productivity. And you can manually log time as well, with project, client, tags, and billable inputs. So it's flexible depending on how your team really works.
Reporting is actually more detailed than expected, with tracked versus billable hours, revenue insights, and visual charts for project and client breakdowns.
It also tracks workload and time distribution, which helps teams see where time really is going across tasks.
Calendar integration is another strong point. You can convert scheduled events directly into time entries. Plus, shared time entries for team collaboration, which keeps everyone aligned on updates.
But for construction use cases, it starts feeling limited. There's no GPS tracking or worker verification.
No crew management features either, and no time off or field-specific workflows. So, while it's very easy to use, I think it works better for lightweight project tracking rather than full construction workforce management.
So the pros are very clear. Offline capability, easy tracking, mobile-friendly interface, project-based tracking, built-in analytics, and quick setup.
But on the other hand, it still relies heavily on manual tracking with no GPS, no crew management, and no time-off system.
Next is a platform focused on productivity monitoring and workforce visibility.
Hubstaff is a workforce tracking platform designed for monitoring productivity, time usage, and job performance across remote and field teams. It includes project and job assignment, timesheets, earned wage summaries, and detailed reporting.
The GPS tracking is strong. You get live worker locations on a map. It also tracks activity levels, productivity, and app usage.
And also, it supports billable versus non-billable tracking, scheduling, and time of management.
Reporting is very detailed across time, project, and performance. It's very data heavy.
which some companies prefer for analytics.
But the setup is more complex and requires more configuration before full use.
And some workers may also feel uncomfortable with heavier monitoring, especially activity tracking features.
It gives strong visibility into workforce, yes, but it may feel not feel as smooth for fast-moving construction teams.
And next, we move into a solution designed more for crew operations.
ClockShark. So ClockShark focuses on field crew management with simple time tracking and job monitoring tools. It is a time tracking app designed for field teams that need a straightforward way to track work hours, manage crews, and monitor job activity.
That's right, Marga. It focuses on core time clock functions with added tools for job tracking and basic crew management. Workers can clock in and clock out with break tracking, switch jobs or tasks during active shifts, and even add notes, photos, and attachment to their time entries.
Yeah, so the mobile app also supports scheduling and job assignment. So everything from shifts to tasks can be managed all in one place.
And I like the bulk crew actions feature. It's like clocking out or switching jobs for multiple workers at once. That's really helpful for teams working on the same site.
Oh, so it also includes like a map view with GPS tracking and real-time worker visibility. Plus, job level documentation like notes, files, and customer and address details. So timesheets are flexible too with admin overrides and manual entry when needed.
And it supports scheduling with job, task, and shift details along with basic job costing through code creation and line items.
But reporting and compliance tools are more limited and attendance still relies heavily on manual input.
So it works well with simple field tracking but not for strict workforce accountability.
So we go on to the next. The next is a platform that combines time tracking with project and equipment management.
BusyBusy combines time tracking with project costing and equipment management. It is a time tracking and job costing platform that combines timesheets, equipment tracking, and project reporting into one system, though it can require more setup and navigation effort than simpler time tracking tools.
You can track labor, equipment usage, budgets, and overall project progress all in one system. It also allows manual entries, timers, and detailed timesheets for logging work hours. It also includes photos, attachments, and full job documentation so project records stay complete and organized.
The map view is useful too, so you can see employees, equipment, and project location in real time, which helps with field coordination.
But the system takes time to configure properly, especially for administrators setting everything up.
Navigation also takes some learning, so the system has a lot of features spread across different modules.
And attendance still relies heavily on manual tracking methods like timesheets and timers.
Workforce verification is less strict compared to systems with biometric or GPS-based controls.
So you get strong operational depth, but less control over attendance accuracy.
Now, for the most structured construction-focused system, Fareclock is a time tracking and workforce management solution built to support construction companies managing multiple job sites, mobile crews, and complex labor tracking.
Yes, so Fareclock combines secure attendance verification, job costing, and real-time workforce visibility to help teams stay accurate, organized, and in control across their field operations.
Right away, it feels like it was designed specifically for construction teams. It's built around real field operations, especially workforce accountability with facial recognition and liveness detection.
Because body punching and payroll errors can become very, very costly quickly.
Workers can also clock in using face recognition, PIN, NFC or QR code supporting both personal devices and shared kiosks.
Job costing is also very strong. Workers clock into jobs, phases, and cost codes, giving managers real visibility into labor costs.
It also includes offline time tracking with automatic synchronization, plus mobile access for schedules, punch history, and totals.
So Fareclock has real-time notifications, missed punches, shift updates, and time of request. It also supports forms for field data collection, credential tracking, and compliance monitoring are included too, along with safety briefings, policy acknowledgements, and pay stub access.
It functions more like a complete workforce management platform, and it balances structured with usability for field teams.
That's right. So, looking at all 5 platforms, it's pretty clear that each one approaches construction time tracking differently. Some prioritize simplicity, some focus heavily on visibility and analytics, while others lean more into project and equipment management.
I agree with you, Margs, but for some construction companies, specifically, the biggest challenge is balancing all those things at once because construction operations move fast. Crews transfer between sites, schedule change constantly, and attendance accuracy directly affects labor costs and payroll.
Which means basic timers and manual entries usually aren't enough for the long term. Construction companies need workforce verification, real-time visibility, job costing, and systems that can still function properly even out in the field.
And honestly, I know that you will also agree with me that's where Fareclock stood out the most for us because it combines workforce accountability, job tracking, mobile accessibility, compliance tools, and real-time visibility into one platform without making the workflow overly complicated.
Fareclock's facial recognition, geofencing, offline tracking, forms, compliance management, and crew visibility tools all feel very practical for actual construction operations, especially for businesses managing multiple crews and multiple active job sites at the same time.
It feels less like a basic time clock and more like a system built around how construction teams actually operate day to day. Which is why overall Fareclock felt like the strongest fit for construction companies needing both of operational control and workforce accountability.
So, at the end of the day, the right platform still depends on your company size, your workflow, and your operational needs.
But if your goal is to improve attendance accuracy, manage crews more efficiently, and gain better visibility across job sites, Fareclock is definitely one of the strongest options to consider.
That's it for today's episode.
I'm Shine.
And I'm Marga.
And we'll see you in the next one.